Okay, let's go.
You can't look me in the eye. You can't look me in the eye.
Hey guys, so I'm actually back to the same place on a different night. I didn't have time to make my sort of final comments after the maiden last time, so here goes. I made sure to bring someone with me for the maiden flight. Hello, say hello to Frode.
Hello, hello.
Frode is my guy today. He's going to help me with the maiden. He's a quad pilot. Do you have a YouTube channel, Frode?
Twinstar FPV.
At YouTube. I'll link it down below. Now there were three main reasons that I wanted to bring someone along for this. First of all, it's more sociable to be more than one person. Number two, maybe it would be underpowered, so I knew it would be nice to have someone there to sort of give it a really good toss into the air and let me think about holding the sticks and taking over the controls. And number three, I knew beforehand that the plane was heavier on one side than the other, and it would be nice to sort of have the both hands on the transmitter on the point of takeoff. Now, the reason I knew beforehand that this thing was going to be side heavy is that I made a mistake when I built the airplane, and I didn't take into account that a video transmitter with its antenna is a lot more heavy than a control receiver with its antenna. Silly me made the cutouts mirror image to each other, and then if there's more weight in one, obviously the plane is going to be heavier on that side. That was also the first thing that I noticed as soon as the airplane took off, was that it was heavy on one side, and it took quite a bit of trim to get it sort of level with no hands flying. And that's definitely something I'm gonna have to change up. It's not a good workaround to use a lot of trim to get that fixed. I need to put some more weight on one wing, and I think maybe putting an extra camera somewhere on that wing is a good way to go. So while we're at the things that didn't go fantastic, there's a horrible grinding sound at certain RPMs or revolutions of the motors. I suspect one motor is either out of balance, or the prop is out of balance, or there's something wrong with the mounting hardware, making the motor vibrate around, especially at certain rev ranges. So I tried to stay on sort of the more quieter rev ranges during the flight, but still in the video you can see it's shaky and there's jello. So sorry about that. That's the best I could do for this maiden, but I definitely wanted to show the footage anyways. Now, number two is I knew beforehand that the video image wasn't going to be great. I made sort of a dry run on the ground beforehand and tried it out, and I knew that the video image was distorted and sort of blurry. I flew line of sight, but I had my DVR in the goggles going so that I could go back later and review some of the numbers. And while we're at the numbers, I was getting almost 100 kilometers an hour while flying flat at full speed. To me, that's very swift for this type of airplane, and there's more to be had. I can go up in prop size and all kinds of stuff. But then on the other hand, I really liked the fact that the airplane seems to be very efficient. I flew 8 minutes on this maiden flight, and it was definitely what I would call mixed flying. There was quite a bit of high speed runs, and there was quite a bit of pullouts, and I even made a vertical climb. And still with that type of flying, for 8 minutes, I was only using 1000 milliamp hours out of the 3000 milliamp hour 4-cell pack. Meaning that I can easily fly 20 minutes with this type of flying, and if I fly carefully and sort of try to make it a long-range FPV style flight, I think half an hour plus is easily within range. So all in all, a really enjoyable flight. This build has taken forever due to me not having enough time to concentrate for long stretches of time on it. If you are into the technical side of these things and you want to see some maybe building tips and some more specs, definitely check out my technical walkthrough of the same airplane. I'll link to that down below. Also, I want to give another shout out to Dave Merc Productions. It's a really good channel here on YouTube. You should definitely check it out if you're not aware of it. He has a build series on the Twinstar, but he also has build series and all kinds of videos and really good hints and tips. Now, before I finish off, I just want to give sort of a word of warning. If you are like me and you're just transitioning from flying Spectrum radios to flying these long-range transmitter receiver systems, there's one mistake which is very easy to make. Those of us who fly Spectrum, we have been spoiled by what's called the model match system. This is a system that makes it impossible to fly an airplane that does not correspond with the model memory you have opened on your transmitter. So let's say you open up your Carbon Cub on the transmitter. If you fire up your Extra 300S, it's not gonna fly. Now with these long range systems, you're not really using the radio unit of the Spectrum radio. You're just kind of using it as a glorified mouse and keyboard, so to speak, and you're tapping out the control signals out of the trainer port and running that into the long-range transmitter unit. So there's no system in place that sort of recognizes what kind of receiver and what kind of radio you're flying with. So I made a silly mistake. I was going to show my flying buddy Frode the FMS long-range easy trainer that I've been flying all winter, and I was yapping away and I wasn't concentrating. So I managed to fire up the FMS Easy Trainer with the model memory that I had used for the Multiplex Twinstar. And then I chucked the airplane in the air. And of course the model memory was way out of trim too, because I had to trim so much to take care of that imbalance in the Twinstar. So the Easy Trainer started to sort of keel over to the side right away. And then I tried to sort of counter that using aileron, and then the ailerons were reversed, so I sort of managed to roll it even more. And right before I hit the ground, I managed to just roll it upside down, so I landed smack down perfectly on my run cam split, ruined the lens, sort of bent up the foam a little bit. So that was a hard knock lesson to learn, and I just sort of want to mention it so maybe you can prevent yourself from making the same silly mistake. For now, I will be trying to rectify the issues I have with the Multiplex Twinstar, and I think it's going to be a super airplane for this coming summer. Thanks for watching. If you do enjoy my videos, a like or a subscription is most appreciated. Bye bye!